There's something crazy going on around the world right now.
Getting multiple calls about 6 drones flying together in a no-fly zone.
And we're still in the dark.
From mysterious encounters being reported all over the news in metropolitan areas like New York and New Jersey, to concerning incursions near high-stakes strategic military and nuclear sites in the United States and the United Kingdom, unidentified objects are making blatant and dramatic appearances in the skies across the globe. The sheer scale and frequencies of these interactions is unprecedented and raising urgent questions about just what the hell is going on and how safe the airspace above our heads actually is. Combine this with the lack of response or explanation from military and law enforcement beyond a blanket, "There's no apparent risk to public safety at this time," which isn't making anyone less anxious, by the way, only seeds more doubts about their ability to protect us from completely unknown actors, whether foreign, domestic, or otherworldly. These anomalous crafts, some completely untraceable on radar and ranging from the size of SUVs to reports as large as a house, are operating over busy cities and sensitive military installations with an impunity and audacity that has never been seen in modern history. And it's happening right now. Literally every day at the time of this filming, witness accounts are piling up. Rightly, most of these witnesses feel unnerved by the sightings, saying the objects are moving in coordinated and deliberate patterns and appearing in swarms. They behave with an apparent distinct purpose, obviously under some intelligent control, and often linger for extended periods. In some cases, near military bases, attempts have been made to actively respond to their presence by scrambling military aircraft. Interceptor fighter jets from nearby stations have been scrambled.
I'm near 5 Hotel Delta, Clear Direct Zephyr.
Clear Direct Zephyr, 415 Hotel Delta.
Roaring off the tarmac to investigate these intrusions, only to be quickly outran by these UAPs, sent back to the base with their tails between their landing gears. Despite the potential gravity of these incidents, official responses remain unacceptable and utterly lacking any sort of coherent response. The shocking lack of transparency around these events, with zero explanation of what or who is flying them, has only fueled speculation about their origins, about whether they involve advanced foreign surveillance technology, private actors with sketchy intent, or even some non-human phenomenon that leans towards something much more interesting. Unfortunately for everyone going through this experience, the government agencies and intelligence organizations are notorious for their lethargic approach, downplaying incidents and dismissing reports from expert witnesses is unfortunately the norm. And when a spineless DC press corps lobs softball questions to the White House, the answers we get are in the same old vein of labeling these incidents as inconsequential, benign misidentifications, or trivial occurrences unworthy of significant concern. I've recently seen journalists avoid pressing government officials on these incidents, opting instead to recycle sanitized explanations provided by agencies like the Department of Defense, completely unwilling to challenge the narrative, which only limits public awareness and directly undermines the dire sense of urgency needed to address this rapidly evolving issue. This weak media approach, when face-to-face with those who should be accountable, has to stop. True accountability begins with asking the difficult questions. To throw another wrench in your comfort level, intelligence and military counter-drone technology has supposedly made huge strides in recent years, with systems that reportedly can detect, track, and more importantly, neutralize unauthorized aerial devices at war zone level speeds. So my question is, why the hell aren't we deploying these technologies right now? We paid for those systems with our tax dollars, so We're telling you, fancy military general guys with shiny stars and flags all over your uniforms, it's time to use them now, because it's clear we aren't just dealing with kids effing around or some Joe Schmo YouTube pranksters. Damn YouTubers. Ask anyone who's tried to fly their snazzy little DJI Mavic over an airport or a US Air Force base. Even if you can get your device off the ground in those areas, if you fly anywhere near a base or airport, your device will be neutralized. Whether that means it just stops and lands or is actually shot down. That will happen well before you reach the boundaries of any airport or military base. Another fact that is really fishy about this whole deal is the insistence by law enforcement, military leadership, and the intelligence agencies to categorize these objects as drones. Over and over, they're drones, they're drones, they're drones. It's highly suspicious and feels like a deliberate attempt to downplay the potential risk or conceal a deeper truth. Because, okay, even if these objects are drones, the implications of that are still alarming. They represent a level of technological sophistication that apparently currently exceeds our known or acknowledged capabilities of foreign adversaries. So who or whatever is behind these incursions is essentially giving us, and as we'll see others around the world, a big middle finger, because right now we can't do a damn thing about their presence. Here's where the plot thickens. Skip across the pond from New York and New Jersey. Reports of UAP incursions also continue to pile up around Royal Air Force bases in the UK and facilities that are known or suspected to house nuclear armaments for the United States and the United Kingdom. These military bases and the strategic installations are seeing an unprecedented surge in sightings over those facilities. That is really not good. And if you follow the UFO topic, you'd know these exact types of locations have a long history of incidents with a consistent pattern of UFOs focusing on sites related to nuclear energy and nuclear weapons, which then begs the question of what the hell is going on with the interest in our nuclear assets. But that's a topic for another episode, coming soon. When national leaders are asked about these, I guess you could say, concerning incidents, authorities on both sides of the Atlantic remain tight-lipped, refusing to provide anything beyond generic statements about their commitment to national security. But as more information leaks through unofficial channels and across social media, public pressure to address these blatant incursions continues to grow. Because whatever this is, the one thing that is for certain is that unknown, unexplained activity over literally the most sensitive and dangerous military installations in the world is not acceptable, which is insane I even have to say that out loud. We are in uncharted territory here, and rigorous investigation with full transparency with the public is paramount. But you know what? We ain't gonna get that transparency, because they never have given it to us in the past. So it's foolish to think that at a time like this, when they've been caught with their pants down around their ankles, they're miraculously going to just come clean now. Not a snowball's chance on a hot summer day. So again, the question is silence from authorities a case of lethargic bureaucratic inertia? Or is there a deeper, more stealthy, coordinated effort to suppress this information intentionally? Because right now, when we look for answers from our leaders, it's a deafening sound of, which really all that does is further expose the governmental fear, yes, fear of acknowledging the true scope of this problem, their inability to deal with this, which ultimately reveals unacceptable vulnerabilities in our national security. And if these things are actually something cool, like UFOs, which I guarantee you not all of them are, however, some of them very well could be, you can bet your last dollar that the findings of anything like that will continue to be kept hidden, buried and classified for the typical national security BS reasons that are always espoused. In the current situation, and this may actually be part of the intention, the irresponsible lack of communication by national defense leadership on this has left a vacuum that is quickly being filled with conspiracy theories and misinformation. That is dangerous. So again, I ask you, is that intentional? And if so, why? At the heart of this matter lies a troubling question. Why is the United States, widely regarded as possessing unmatched military capabilities, failing to confront this growing concern with the seriousness it demands when it's happening over home soil? The government has demonstrated a pattern of selective non-communication around these recent incursions, but also for the last 80 plus years around the broader UAP UFO topic in general, which is now coming home to roost and show why that deafening silence is not only wrong, but dangerous. But this is selective, because when it suits them and makes them look good, they have no problem talking about incursions over our soil from foreign adversaries. Remember those supposed Chinese balloons that entered US airspace a while back? Those same officials wasted no time in labeling it a violation of sovereignty, sparking strong public discussion and creating a carefully crafted narrative for a corporate media that created a frenzy over the widely displayed shoot-downs that those leaders were so eager to boast about. Yet questions about these origins of unidentified reconnaissance drones or UFOs or whatever the hell they are, and how they are operating with impunity over densely populated areas, sensitive military installations, and a certain new president-elect's compound, is now met with inadequate and dismissive pandering explanations from these same exact leaders that were so excited to shoot down some balloons. This ultimately raises critical questions about their priorities, transparency, and threat assessment within the US defense apparatus. Because right now, the apparent absence of urgency in addressing these unidentified drones suggests a potential gap in the US military's defense protocols regarding unconventional threats. There are only a couple answers here. These are either UFOs with superior tech, which would actually be a better answer, or they are emerging technologies and unconventional surveillance tactics from unknown actors that have slipped through the cracks of home soil national defenses, and until proven otherwise, our public safety is at risk. Without a doubt, the greatest concern is with what we're seeing might not be unidentified flying objects or interdimensional spaceships, but instead are advanced foreign adversarial drones. Countries like Russia, Iran, and especially China are at the forefront of drone technology, developing platforms that can defy conventional interception methods and trick even the most sophisticated detection systems. Unlike rudimentary drones that most people associate with travel vloggers or geographic surveillance and mapping tools, these developing platforms are state-of-the-art machines designed for covert operations and strategic dominance on the battlefield. Reports claim they can evade radar and use spoofing signals, and in general operate in ways that render traditional anti-drone technology obsolete, and have effectively neutralized years of military research and billions of our tax dollars. Going even further, and I don't want to freak anybody out, but historically, violating another nation's airspace with military assets has been a clear and intentional provocation that can directly signal a prelude to hostile acts. These drone incursions could be a strategic test, probing our defenses and vulnerabilities, or they could be some twisted form of psychological warfare meant to instill doubt and fear about our ability to protect our borders. And currently, from a public perspective, that's exactly what is happening right now. Add into this hot mess some good old classic geopolitical mudslinging, and things get even more contentious. For the record, I've been a fan of Congressman Tim Burchett for everything he's done for the UFO transparency movement lately. However, his very pointed accusations of this being China deploying these drones without any hard proof of that fact is an extremely dangerous thing to do. Current global tensions, whether over trade disputes or foreign proxy wars, are already teetering on the edge. We can all feel it. Adding accusations of espionage or airspace violations involving advanced military technologies could push these giant nations into dangerous opposing positions. Publicly naming a foreign government as the direct culprit could agitate an aggressive response. Best case, economic sanctions, but can range all the way up to the worst case, an escalation of military action capable of spiraling into unintended, catastrophic conflict. Cooler heads must prevail, Congressman Burchett. Please, for the love of God, keep your damn pants on. And yet, on the other side of the coin here, the longer this immediate issue is obfuscated, the more emboldened adversaries may become. If there are no clear messages of repercussions, it can send a message that these provocative acts can continue without consequence. The stakes are clearly heating up, and I'm sure the intelligence community basements have teams of experts working feverishly to figure out what the hell is buzzing cities and military bases, who is flying them, and what to do about it. But let's just be starkly honest right now. I 99.999% guarantee you that unless these are UFOs who decide if they want to be seen or not, NORAD has eyes on these objects 24/7. They know exactly where they are coming from, their flight paths, any patterns that are emerging, and exactly where they are going when they leave. I'd bet they even have a damn good idea, if not precisely sure, exactly who or what this is. But guess what? They aren't going to tell us squat. Because if they admit that adversaries or ETs possess technology that outpaces our defenses, it could shake public confidence further and potentially destabilize society and political alliances. And this gets at the crux of the true fear behind admitting the presence of any greater technology or intelligence, no matter who or what it is. Whatever the case, we're left with the same provocative question that we've already alluded to, but is worth stating again. What is the broader significance of all these incursions? Are we under surveillance from ETs? Or is someone preparing to drop nukes on our heads? The longer this issue remains unresolved, the greater the implications for potential global instability and disaster. Over the years, numerous unexplained aerial phenomena have been documented, tracked, and even acknowledged by military officials. And yet, the responses from those in positions of authority today remain incomplete at best, and condescending and evasive at worst. On the other hand, if these phenomena are not of human origin, whether they represent unknown technologies, experimental platforms, or something more interesting, the inability and unwillingness of world leaders to address the broader implications of these occurrences shows why the very real and very troubling disconnection between what is known behind closed doors and what is shared with the public only fosters deeper uncertainty and incites speculation that has spiraled into widespread distrust and anxiety. It is now officially time for the global community, our government, all governments, private sectors, scientific and academic institutions to all step up together and prioritize taking this discussion seriously. If they are foreign or illegal drones making brazen incursions over our soil, then effing shoot them down. And if they are something else, whatever that means, extraterrestrial, extra-dimensional, or something we have yet to comprehend entirely, the stakes could not be higher at this moment. If you are someone who's close to this activity or just paying close attention and frustrated by the lack of answers about what these mysterious orbs or UFOs or drones are, you're far from alone. For years, and on this current situation, the response from our national leaders has been insultingly evasive. At its core, this issue isn't just about strange and scary foreign objects in the sky over our homes, or even the possibility of extraterrestrial life. No, it's about accountability, truth, and the public's right to understand the world in which we live. And if these orbs or drones or whatever they may be pose no genuine threat, then what the hell is the secrecy all about? It's time for our agencies like Aero, NASA, the White House, any White House, to engage with the public in a meaningful way, offering true transparency and evidence rather than just silence and disparaging ambiguity. Now is the time. Call, write, email your elected representatives and let them know that you are pissed off. Demand answers. Let them know that the current blasé answers they are feeding us are not sufficient. Remind them that you're paying very close attention to their actions or lack thereof at this moment. And if they don't step up, you will vote for someone who will. I put a link in the description below this video to every elected representative and senator listed by state. Let your voice be heard. Because whatever the case may be, the skies are no longer the limit, and ignoring the situation is no longer an option. And related to all of this is a previous episode I made about the cartoonishly dysfunctional secrecy and classification systems of the broader intelligence communities that has grown into the single greatest threat to democracy that exists anywhere on the planet. And if you have the stomach for it, I've linked it below and at the end of this video. And until that next time, thank you for watching. My name is Jason. I'll see you again soon. Take care, my friend.